That was proposed for one of our viewers was, is it custom, tradition, or law that says that the man is supposed to propose?
All right, guys, we back. We had a viewer to ask a question, and the question is it customary for a woman to propose?
For the man propose.
Is it customary for the man to propose? What is it? Go ahead. What did they say?
They said, is it custom, tradition, or law that says the man is to propose? Going against that, we're saying, oh, our belief is that a woman should not be proposing to a man, and that's something that we need to stop doing. We're going to elaborate it on tonight.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you saying that it's what are you saying? What do you believe?
I believe it's out of order. And the reason I think it's out of order is because I believe that there is God, man, then woman, or God, husband, wife, or the man is the leadership. He's the covering. He's who you're supposed to follow. So if you're a woman getting on her knees, proposing, is kind of, to me, saying that you're taking the leadership, you're taking the lead in this. Now, is it saying that it's biblical? I mean, because we're going to speak from a spiritual standpoint and a worldly standpoint of it, tonight. So is it wrong for a woman to do it? Or no, I didn't find anywhere that it was wrong for a woman to do that. I just think if she does that, it causes room for it to be what I would call a door, an open door, or a toehold for the enemy to come in and bring confusion. So speaking from a spiritual standpoint of it, a lot of people, or some of the commenters, people said, Ruth proposed to Boaz. If you are a Christian and you're a believer, you should know this story. But if you don't, basically, you have Naomi, who is a mother who lost her husband and her two sons. And then her two sons' daughters, Oprah, and I hope I said that right, and Ruth is her daughter-in-laws or daughter-in-laws, however you want to call it. But they're her daughters-in-law that was married to her sons. And she's telling them, hey, when she loses everything, y'all go back to y'all homeland. I have no more sons, to remarry. Because the custom back then was, if, a husband died, you are to be married off to their brother. If that brother's gone, you go to the next kinsman, right? So she was like, I have nothing else for you guys, go. So Oprah was like, okay, I'm going back home to my family. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of break it down. But Ruth was like, no, I love you. You my mother. I'm following you. You know what I'm saying? So they go back to Naomi's hometown, where there is a kinsman of her husband there. Now, Naomi is older. So, of course, this young Boaz do not want Naomi, you know what I'm saying? So the next person would be in line to marry would be his cousin or Naomi's son's wife, which is Ruth. So her mother-in-law guides her on how to get married. So move forward, she tells her in chapter 3 and 9, Ruth 3 and 9 in the Bible. Let me just go to it and read it. Give me a second. And I'm going to read from one of the new, I think it's a new international version. But it says, basically, he asks, who are you? He asks. And she says, I am your servant Ruth. Now, before I go further, she has already went back home with her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law has been guiding her on what to do to get Boaz's attention. You know what I'm saying? Now she has told her to go in a different way to get there alone. Let me just say that they're alone right now. She snuck in. Okay. I am your servant Ruth. She says, spread your corner of your garment over me, since you are guardian redeemer of our family. She's asking him for covering. So a lot of our viewers or a lot of people are coming and saying, hey, Ruth proposed to Boaz. Is it safe to say that? To me, I'm not going to disagree with it. I think, yeah, that is a proposal. That's saying, hey, would you cover me? But from the perspective that I'm given is the reason why I would say that's still in order. They're alone. They're in private. She goes to him. She has a conversation. And Boaz is a type of man that he steps up to the plate. He goes out. And he tells her, okay, you go back. You know what I'm saying? So she's not shamed or being seen in the wee hours of the morning. You know what I'm saying? You go out, and then he goes to the next kinsman and makes sure, and he makes it publicly known, hey, I'm going to marry Ruth. And the story goes on from there. If you had this the cliche saying like I want my Boaz, He was a man of wealth. He was a great guy. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to make it public. The issue for me is in modern day, women are going publicly. They're not having this conversation with the man privately as Ruth did, where he can still keep his manhood, where he can still take the lead. They're going publicly. I mean, one of our episodes, we said it was a woman that was in a mall. Like, they're publicly, and I'm not shocked at some of the results where the man is like, no, because you're taking his role. You are taking on masculinity. You're taking the lead, which is out of order to me. Do you disagree?
I want to get off as well. So let's go ahead and fast forward 2,000 years to the future. 2025, we're here. Black culture in the West, meaning the United States. Keisha, just a random name in the culture. Let's go ahead and take Keisha late night in the room with Mark. Her mom told her to go ahead and cook Mark some good food, feed him real good. It's 2025, so you know, she told him to lay up with him real good as well. And go ahead and tell Mark what her desires are. Assuming that Mark is a Boaz type of guy, Mark will take up his mantle because Keisha's probably been with Mark for some time, and Mark will take up his mantle and propose to her. Go get a ring, get everything together, get a ring, propose her. Now that would be the equivalent to today's timing. Like you said, women ain't really went and spoke to their Boaz about what they want. Now, I said previously on a pod that once you get to the level as a woman in this modern time, 2025, 2026, once you think we've had enough time, I love him, we have ties together, I want a long-term relationship, I want to be married to him. And he's had enough time to think this over as well, ladies. In the West, this is not the Bible. I'm not a preacher. Well, I just want you to know that it wouldn't be smart or wise in this dispensation of time. Okay, we're under the dispensation of grace. I think they was under the law, Ruth and Boaz. Okay, so it's just a whole different world. Okay, and I wouldn't take on. I think you said the other night when we was talking off camera, and I think you said it's giving masculine. And I wouldn't give masculine if I was a woman in today's time. Now, if you had a true Boaz, though, who just for some reason he couldn't see or whatever because, their situation was so different. But Boaz, they weren't dating beforehand. Do you see what I'm saying? So these people are dating beforehand. This man has had time to, like you, deal with you, decide if he wants to marry you or not. And now I guess the woman is deeming it time. It's time. We've had enough time. If y'all had enough time, ma'am, you probably should move on because he don't want you. And I don't think that it's wise that a woman should propose in 2025 and moving forward in the future.
However, if she does propose, it's really on that couple. I'm not for it because again, it gives room for. I mean, I feel like if he's a real man, if he's a masculine man. Most masculine men don't want a woman who is equally masculine to them. They want to lead, they want to cover, and you're taking that lead. You're getting on your knee, proposing to him. It's just out of order. It doesn't say that it's wrong. If I had to put it up under the category of any of the original question, it would be traditional for a man to propose, right?
For me, that one time in the Bible would be an anomaly. I think in the prior the dispensation of the law, I think parents probably put people together. You know what I'm saying? I think families decided who married who, opposed to a man proposing or a woman proposing. I don't even think men proposed back in those times like that. You see what I'm saying?
So it would go to traditional with me. The reason why it's important for traditional is because it provides a sense of belonging, identity, stability by connecting people to their cultural roots. As you just mentioned, it's not really known for the women or the men to propose, but it is known for the families to do it. And then it went from that, from the families doing it to the man saying, hey, I have this to offer. Would you all, and they brought their families, you know what I'm saying? They brought the elders forward or went to the elders and said, hey, I have this. Would you
Normally, a
allow
male
me?
would bring his elder uncle
Or something.
and his father with him. You know what I'm saying? The people of stature from his culture or from his tribe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tradition is important, right? And so if you're gonna, even though it is traditional for a man to propose, that is a tradition that some we can throw out, but this is one I think we should keep because from a spiritual standpoint, again, it's nowhere says that it's wrong, but at the same time, God is a God of order. And it really depends on the couple and where they are and where that man's psyche is. But most men that I have ran across, and come in if you disagree and let me know what you think, or if you are a man that has been proposed to and is working out for you guys, I would love to know, because most of the people I have encountered, it doesn't work out because a real man does not respect that. He wants to be a leader, and that will mess with his psyche. Not only will it mess with his psyche, it brings confusion of who is the leader in this relationship. You took the lead to do this. And even if you did take a lead as a woman, because in modern day time, we are strong, independent women, right? So, but why would you bring room to in publicly? If Ruth can go secretly and say, hey, would you cover me? You know what I'm saying? Secretly. Now, he had already been eyeing her.
Yeah, she didn't propose in public.
Yeah, she didn't go publicly and let everybody know. She allowed room for him to still be a man. She allowed room for him to still get it right. Nobody knew. If you don't read the Bible, and if I'm pretty sure if I was in that day of time, the way that Boaz handled it, he was still able to be a man. He went in order. And he went in order, and all they knew is that he took control, he took lead, and he married. They had no idea of what the conversation was privately among them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think that's where the confusion come. And then again, we're speaking from a spiritual standpoint. When there's confusion, the only person I know is the author of confusion is the enemy, the devil. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to operate in that. And then if you want to speak from a worldly standpoint, it's giving desperate. It's giving lack of confidence as a woman. It's giving I don't know. Like it's just not good. It's definitely giving bad vibes, low self-esteem. I don't have no other choice. That type of energy, like girl, stop, get off your knee.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's giving negativity, and it's giving role reversal. As far, I'm from the West. I'm from the West, man, and I was born in the '80s. Don't do it. Now, biblically, I don't have a problem. But you know what I'm saying? I go strictly with the Bible. If we going with the Bible don't speak against it. And one of there's another lady Esther's got a book. How many ladies got books? Okay, I'm sure there's very few ladies that got books. She's got her own book in the Bible, and so she's probably a stand-up lady, Miss Ruth. Okay. And so I don't got a problem with it at all. I don't even want my hands on that because that's for the pastors, man. I don't even want my hands on
right.
it. Yeah. That's a tough out right there. I'm not going to touch that. I definitely think that Ruth was in order because she done things out of order. She was sent to do something. This was in there. The prophecy of his own home, right? She was his handmaid, right? Right. So, to me.
She worked in his field. Yeah.
Yeah. It's spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid. That's Ruth 3, 6 through 9. And so that's what she went at. That was proposing. That was proposing. So now let's go ahead and fast forward to 2,000 years to 2025 again. And Keisha did ask Mark this in private. And Mark told her, I ain't ready. You ain't rushing me into this. And so she thought that once, around his family and everything, maybe the baby's third birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese that she had proposed, that maybe he won't wild out on her. But no, you can't force this brother to marry you.
You can't.
You can't force this brother to marry you, and he don't owe you that.
But it should still be a private conversation among you guys, and I feel like it's out of order. You should definitely have a conversation. If the conversation doesn't work in your liking, nobody is embarrassed publicly, and you can go on and he can go on. The story of Ruth is really a story of a woman who had integrity and obedience. She had obedience to her mother-in-law. She was loyal to. She was a woman of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? She followed her. She loved her husband even in death. I am going to honor my mother. You know what I'm saying? Even in death, she still followed this woman and obeyed her. She did everything she did and it worked out. I mean, in obedience, and it worked out for her good. A lot of times, if we just gonna fast forward, a lot of women don't know what obedience is. They don't know what loyalty look like. They want to be so strong in the roles reversed, and they want to tell you what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. And so you wonder why the men say, "Nah, I'm good."
That is, I do think that does somewhat take. I mean, she's taking initiative. She is taking the lead. She's on her knees. She went and bought you a ring, bro. You should run for the hills, bro. You should run for the hills, bro. I'm talking about in the West. Now, somewhere else, a real Ruth situation, you know, But shout out Elvira from Israel. You know what I'm saying? It might be real situations like that in the world. Shout out to our Russian viewers.
Yeah,
That's
but there's
crazy.
there's nothing where I seen that it is law for the man has to be the one to propose. And that was the question. No, there isn't any law that says that he has to propose. There isn't any particular custom that says that man or woman. And to me, when you're just speaking of tradition, some traditions, yeah, it's traditional for the man to propose, but some traditions are there for a reason that we need to keep passing down, to keep order, to keep the enemy out and leaving that toehold or the door open for him. To me, that can just cause confusion. I mean, who is the real leader in the relationship if you, the woman, is on her knee? And what real woman that's in her feminine, era that wants to be soft is going to get on her knee and propose to a man? Like, girl, get up. No, we're not doing that in 2025, and I stand on that.
Yeah, and if it's any married couples out there that's questioning this, that's already married, just ask yourself, would you be comfortable if your wife had asked you to marry her? I don't think I would have been comfortable with that. I don't think I would have been
Absolutely
comfortable with
not.
that right there. You got me a ring and you on your knees and you did something with a gathering and all that to propose to me, or you tried to hit me in the food court with the proposal joint. That's crazy work. I would not. I don't. I don't think that we would have got married. No,
And
that's
we can use
crazy.
modern day celebrities, right? I mean, you have Chrissy and Jim Jones. They've been together for years. When they first came out, Chrissy proposed to Jim. Fast forward years later, they come back to Love and Hip Hop, and people are, I guess, questioning and saying, "Hey, they still not married, this and that." So Jim goes to propose to her. You see what I'm saying? But she's such Chrissy, I love you, but. To me, it was masculine energy. It was prideful to say, "Oh no, don't worry about like now. You want to turn him down." You know what I'm saying, in public because you feel away, and it's giving masculine to me because now you really want to marry this man. You got on one knee and bought a ring, but now you want to, and so now y'all still not married. Y'all together. That's cute for years, but
She's a tough thug, and I always actually like Chrissy. I didn't even know that she denied a proposal from Jim Jones. I didn't know that. That's news to me. But she's a tough thug for that right there, and I don't want to deal with people that's tough, that women tough. I don't want. I got hard ankles, and so I don't want to deal with a hard ankle minded woman. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with that. That is crazy.
and not only, okay, so for me, I like to think that I'm a tough woman. You know what I'm saying? I am very strong, but I'm soft when it comes to you. I'm soft when it comes to certain things and this and that. When it comes to my husband, I'm submissive. I'm totally into my woman feminine era. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in the modern day, I don't think they get confused because they so worried because everything is lived out on social media in the public eye, and they're worried about what other people think than the one that really matter. I don't need to be tough for you guys. In front, you know what I'm saying? I can be soft to my husband. I don't care what you think. Like I still think I'm a tough woman, but when it comes to him, I know how to be feminine and soft and allow him to be the man that's masculine. And that's where a lot of you women are losing it and missing it up and confusing it with getting on your knee.
And it's not a justification. You cannot justify getting on your knees and asking a man to marry you with Ruth 3:6 through 9. That was a completely different time. But we're on a completely different dispensation of time. Okay, as far as the godly time. You see, my goodness, this is crazy. Don't do that, ladies. You're in the wrong. I don't mean no harm. You probably rushing him. Y'all been dating, right? Yeah, you ain't just his handmaid coming to clean the house and cook him something to eat and leave, right? That ain't the case, right? Y'all laying up, right? Let that man decide, man. He don't want to be with you.
I mean, if he really did, I was told that a man knows from the beginning if he really wants to be with you. It doesn't take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In some cases, it worked out. Some people got proposed to 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, whatever years it is. But most cases, no.
Now
It don't take that
I'm
long.
gonna give God some grace because I like grace, and I do. So I would say to give your man 5 years, ladies. I mean, if and some people say much shorter than that, and that's fine as well. The reason I say 5 years because I mean, my dad told me that you can't even truly know a woman till you done lived with her for 5 years. And so, man, we live in a secular world. And I'm not advocating for secularism in 2025, if that's a word, I don't know. It sounded good. Okay? But I'm not an advocate for that. But if you're living a secular lifestyle, you already go with him, y'all already laying up the things of this nature. See if you can live with him. See if you can live with her. Okay? You're not even gonna know him, her, for about 5 years living with them. You see what I'm saying? And so that's a real thing. It's things I still learn about my wife. Okay, so and be open to learning one another too. That's a thing too, guys and girls. But after about a span of 5 years together, maybe spending a couple years living together, knowing each other for real. Ma'am, get out the way if he don't. You know what I'm saying? If you got to come to him talking about, hey, when you going to marry me? If you got to throw innuendos, you know what I'm saying? You got to insinuate marriage all the time. I would advocate to get on it. It's just a hit the road, Jack.
And I mean, if you don't take anything else, if you are one of those women that's saying, well, Ruth proposed or whatever the case may be, remember she done this in private. It was a private conversation. She allowed this man to still be a man. She allowed him to still take the lead.
Thanks.
She allowed him to still be masculine. And, the issue for me, in my opinion, in modern day is women are too open to expose everything, put everything in public. Some things need to be in private between you and your spouse, especially if you want to try to pressure him, because that's pressure, to marry you. Just have a conversation with them.
Masculine women.
That's what it is.
All right, guys, that's what we got for you. Check this video out right here, and that's major.